we going, baby?
We're going to our boat.
Yep.
Yep. First time.
First time.
First time for us.
For it being our boat.
For it being our boat. Yes. There she is.
There she is.
Hello, baby.
Go ahead.
Put this
you
down.
go ahead.
Sorry?
All right, go ahead. You don't have to ask if it's okay to climb aboard because it's your boat.
It's my boat. Very classy. Ta-da!
This is our boat.
This is our boat.
Okay.
I will just come down like a princess into the boat. Hello! This is my new home.
Tell me.
You'll see much more later.
Here's the forward head. The shower part is in the front. Over here, we have the Jabsco toilet, the infamous Jabsco toilet, soon to be replaced. And we have a sink over here. From the forward head, we come into the forward cabin, which has a Pullman berth. That's this guy over here. As you can see, there's storage beneath the Pullman berth. And this is actually quite a good sized berth. It's almost a queen size up at the top here. And then it's about a double at the bottom. But your feet go there, so that's not such a big deal. There's a nice wall-mounted bookcase there. And then you can see there are drawers and 2 hanging lockers, as well as a settee on that side of the forward cabin, plus some generous storage above. You can also see the hatches that let in a lot of light and a lot of air. So, coming from the forward cabin, that's the galley over on the starboard side, which is the right side as you're facing the front of the boat. We start over here with the sink, and it has some drawers for storage beside it. And then along the back of the galley, there's storage in those cupboards. And this is a propane stove. It's gimbaled, so as the boat heels, it moves. We are going to be replacing that, though, with electric appliances. And then over here is the fridge, and I've actually got it on right now, have our lunch chilling in there. So here's a bit of a pan across the galley, and then over to the aft head. So this boat has 2 bathrooms or heads. This is the second one. This whole room is actually a shower stall, and this faucet comes out to shower with. The drain is in the floor down there. This is not a Jabsco toilet. This is called a vacuum flush. So there's a little lever over here that you step on and it flushes just like a normal toilet. It also uses fresh water so it doesn't stink. Over here is the nav station on the port side behind the salon, the settee. It's a little aged and in need of some work, but we're going to hire a electrician to help us with that. Then panning from the galley, we go across our probably not an original Da Vinci that came with the boat, but
has a matching wine bottle. Very cool.
And this is our salon, or saloon, depending on which side of the Atlantic you're on. It's, as you can see from Donna sitting here, quite lovely and spacious. There's additional storage space inside the table.
I feel like Vanna White. You can raise the table.
Everything on a sailboat needs to be latched so that it doesn't swing around and bounce.
Ta-da!
And do you want to show the storage space behind you, hun? In Lubric?
Ooh! There's less there.
There's less there.
Because the boat's curvy.
And then, if we need more sleeping room, we are going to alter this table so that this whole settee here all becomes one big bed. So here is the starboard aft cabin. Hanging locker on that side. And there's the berth. So my lovely wife Donna is standing in the doorway of the starboard aft cabin. That's the cabin we're going to actually keep for sleeping in. But if you want to walk over to the port side cabin, that is one, gesturing behind you, that we are going to convert into storage and mechanical space, workshop space. Part of the reason for that is that the battery switch is under that seat. Also, the seacock is under that seat. The batteries are under the back of the berth there. And then all our electronics are in this cabinet here. So it kind of makes sense for us, if we need more storage space anyway, take this really, really big space that we really don't need to have people sleep in and convert that over to storage space. Okay, so it has been about a year since we filmed that interior boat tour, and we're going to pick it up and show you a few of the things that we've changed, and then we're going to show you the outside of the boat. So this is the master cabin, and not much has changed in here. We have put a few new lights in here, and we've cleaned up a bit, but right now it's pretty much what you saw. So here we are in the saloon, and there's been more changes here than there were in the forward cabin. One thing is you can see that the propane stove is gone, and we now have an electric convection toaster oven. We also have a griddler and a induction cooktop. The griddler is really useful on a boat because you can put stuff like chicken breasts or burgers in here and close it, and it's not going to slide around and slide out. Aside from that, we've just cleaned up and prepped the boat a little bit. If you pan around the cabin, you can see we've taken off the Da Vinci in the front.
And the ugly lights.
And the ugly lights. We have redone the 110 volt switch panel. Haven't done a lot with the 12 volt, but I'm getting a similar panel to this for the 12 volt. And we have the controls for the inverter and the battery monitor here. Moving into this aft cabin on the port side, you can see it's kind of a mess, but we're getting it set up as a storage cabin. And then that other cabin is all set for guests. All right, so let's move up outside. Okay, so here we are up on the bow of the boat, and behind me here is our Furling Genoa. It is a 130% Genoa, so what that means is that if you draw a triangle of the mast to the forestay here and the deck, it occupies 130% of that space, so it's going to go back past the mast. means that it's fairly good at catching wind. This is also a cruising laminate sail, and one of the things that we liked when we looked at the boat is that this sail's relatively new. They bought it in 2017. So it's a fairly high quality sail and a fairly new sail, which means it should last us for years. Right below my feet here is an anchor locker, and there's a windlass in there. I'm going to show that in a future episode, but that's where all the chain and the anchor will sit. Okay, so over here you can see on the foredeck we have our rib. That's featured in another episode as well, but this is our rigid inflatable boat, our tender that helps get us from shore to the boat. The stainless steel rails that you saw behind me in that last scene are called the pulpit. That's a protective area that keeps you from falling off the boat when you're up forward. And then running along the side of the boat are these lifelines. They're stainless steel wire, they're under some tension, and they should be able to stop a fair amount of weight. However, as you notice, they don't go up very high. They only go up just above my knee. So basically, your big rule on the boat is always stay on the boat. Don't fall off the boat. So we're going to go aft to the shrouds. These are the stainless steel wires that hold up the mast and take the pressure from the sails as the wind catches it. This rigging was all redone in 2017 as well, which again, even though the boat is a 1990, the fact that the rigging was all done in 2017 brought us some comfort that we wouldn't have to redo that. This is a 42-foot Catalina, and we've mentioned that before. That means from the tip of the bow to the very furthest stern part is 42 feet. That's a pretty big boat, actually, but we bought that because we didn't want to have a cramped cabin, and in order to get a roomy cabin you need a certain length of the boat.
Plus we didn't want to buy a starter boat and then have to resell right away.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. All right, so moving aft, we have here a hard Dodger. This is a rigid fiberglass roof that covers the area of our companionway where we come up from the saloon into the cockpit, and it covers all the controls for our sails. All of the controls for the sails, or virtually all of them, come back to our cockpit, and that is something else we were looking for in a boat. We wanted to be able to sail it pretty much entirely from within the cockpit, and this boat offers that option for us. Continuing aft, we get to the cockpit here, and there have been lots of changes in the cockpit since we bought it. When we bought the boat, for example, from the gate up there back all the way to the stern was this stainless steel wire, which we replaced when we had this solar arch built with stainless steel rail. That gives us a little more security because it's more solid. Then looking back here, this is our solar arch. When we bought the boat, there was just a set of rails that came across here and the swim platform. But we wanted to put solar panels on, and we wanted to have these seats here for comfort while we're underway, as well as comfort while we're at anchor. It gives us more room to sit. So we had this solar arch built by Blackline Industries here at the marina. We have 860 watts of solar on our array here, which is quite a bit. That should be enough to recharge our batteries every day in about 4 hours of sun. And so far the batteries have never depleted, so we're doing pretty well there. Right here is the helm station, and this is another major change we made. Donna's going to move around with the camera here and show originally, this is our chart plotter. This is what gives us our some of our situational awareness as we're sailing. It shows us in the marina here, for example. But originally, this chart plotter was forward here. Come with me, Donna, and I'll show you. So it lived on a shelf down in the cabin down here, and we had to pass it up through this hatch here and attach it to this arm here, which was really, really kind of hokey. And also it's 8 feet, 9 feet from here to the helm station. So when you're helming the boat, you couldn't actually see the chart plotter. Now the chart plotter is nice and visible to us right from where we helm. As you can see, sitting in the cockpit, there's lots of room, probably for 8 or 10 people in this cockpit. The benches are long enough for me to lie down and have a nap, and it's a very comfortable place to be. It's also got nice high, these are called coamings here, nice high coamings that keep you from sliding to the outside. So should be comfortable while we're underway as well. And that pretty much concludes the tour of our boat. If you have any questions, let us know, and we're happy to address those. Thanks.